I've always thought one of the fundamental problems that we've had with how the internet, as it's developed, has been the lack of immediacy. And I think if we can restore that level of intimacy and communication to the internet itself, that it'll be a better world. I'm Dave Tott, and this is my lab. In this spot, in 1998, I did some of the first work on making Linux Wi-Fi actually work. When I first started working on Wi-Fi, the equipment was the size of 2 refrigerators. To see it shrink from 1998 to the equipment that was yay big to where it's on a tiny chip was something that I never predicted would have happened. And we didn't foresee all the things that would go wrong. And in 2002, did a bunch of more work that we couldn't publish. I left it for a while, left the United States, and worked on a one laptop per child project in Nicaragua. Then I came back only to find the same problems I was seeing with the internet there were actually an epidemic throughout the world. The problem was called Bufferbloat. Too much memory, not enough algorithms. And I started working with Jim Geddes, Eric Raymond, and Vince Cerf, and a whole bunch of other wonderful visionary pioneers to try to resolve a 50-year-old problem in queuing theory that affected the speed of the internet.
Dave Tott and I worked very hard to preserve the freedom of users to download their own software into routers rather than relying only on the software provided by, for example, internet service providers. This freedom of choice was vital.
Dave has been tireless in his work on the technical details, while at the same time serving as an informal community leader. He has brought together people from all over the world to work on this problem.
Whatever project Dave undertakes, he gets the job done. He pulled together a group effort that solves the widespread problem called bufferbloat, unnecessary congestion under heavy load.
In particular, he's been the person who has focused on making it real in Linux.
And in under a year, we made a theoretical breakthrough. And then we drove those innovations in theory from the math into code and into Linux itself and distributed them as part of home routers. We've made it possible to do really good video conferencing and really good audio and really good sharing over a medium that was not designed to do it. In the beginning, I financed the work out of my retirement savings, and I organized a great stone soup project to get so many people involved. And I've kept the work going in dribs and drabs with work here and grants there. Now that all the theory work is done and the initial code bases are done, we have hundreds of chipsets and drivers that need the same algorithms applied to them so that we get much better Wi-Fi for everybody. And there will be 10 billion more devices that are, if we don't fix them, will interfere with just the ones that we fixed. So this is a job that I personally can no longer sustain. Technology curve where we are, we're living in the bleeding edge. We have got Linux fixed, but that's not all that we have to fix. And if it's not just Wi-Fi that this applies to, we can fix DSL. We've already mostly fixed cable modems. We can improve how satellite communication systems work. Now that the theory work is done, now that we have sample implementations, now we've pushed it into the kernel mainline, we need to cross the chasm. Are you in?